Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 2. And I think this is a 5 out of 5 star television show. I really dug it. This content contains major spoilers for everything in Season 1 and Season 2. Just be aware of that. Okay. All right. So I just want to talk about the show a little bit. So I think this was an incredible tour de force by the following actors. One, the troupe of children actors, essentially. Noah Schnapp as Wiley, absolutely incredible what he did in this season. I do think he should be considered for an Emmy. There were so many layers to his performance. It was pretty incredible. Caleb McLaughlin as Lucas, really fantastic. We got to see a lot more of him in Season 2. His story arc was very rich and robust. It was really incredible what happened with Lucas. Then, in addition to that, I was I think Finn Wolfhard as Mike, continuing to just crush it, do a great job. Gaten Matarazzo as Dustin, one of my absolute favorite characters. I really like Gaten a lot. I actually really like Dustin a lot, and I think Gaten Matarazzo really brought that character to life, right? Max Sadie Sink, all right, new, but I thought she did a really good job with her character. So I've said Will, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Max. That's all. Oh, and of course Millie Bobby Brown as 11. Fantastic job. Really needed to bring a lot of different skill sets to what needed to be acted for 11 in this particular season. Tremendous job. I think really, this is Season 2, Stranger Things Season 2 is a tour de force of child acting. And what we've seen on the screen is going to be hard to beat for a long time, if ever. It is really incredible. There were other people I was really just thrilled to see in the show. Joe Keery as Steve. Fantastic. Just a great job. Then Winona Ryder as Will's mom. And then also the Sean Astin, one of my favorite new characters this season, Bob as Bob. Radio Shack, basic programming Bob. Basic Bob. So I watched, Season 2 came out, and I had a very busy weekend, and I still watched 7 episodes. I think we watched maybe 2 episodes on that Friday night. No, we didn't watch any of it. So we watched 2 episodes on Saturday, 5 episodes on Sunday, and 2 episodes on Monday. That's as close as the Garibay family comes to binge watching. And I watched it with my wife Leanne, which was really fantastic. Really had a great time. Really enjoyed it together, and Stranger Things is kind of spooky. It's not really my wife's jam, but she saw the excitement that me and the kids had for Stranger Things, to my 2 older kids, and which actually they were just only marginally excited about it. I was definitely by far the biggest fan of the show in my family, and my wife was kind enough to watch it, months after it had come out, watch Season 1, and just kind of endure her way through. But she was fully caught up, and when we watched Season 2 together, it really did feel like a really awesome experience watching something together, which was really nice. It was nice. I really feel like, if you could, you wanted to share this with someone, right? It was that kind of viewing. And I think that's another thing is, I just think, this was really event viewing. It really was event viewing. And Netflix is doing something pretty incredible here. Just the structure of these things dropping all at once. I was listening to Grace Randolph. She's absolutely one of the best. She is the best movie reviewer on the internet. Check her out if you're not watching her. She said that this movie Stranger Things 2 absolutely impacted the movie watching this weekend, and it was like the second lowest movie watching box offices of the year. It's incredibly low, right? So Stranger Things is absolutely a cultural touch. It's become a cultural touchstone. So as I continue to go forward, just talking about my thoughts on season 2, I did want to be very clear that I don't feel I'm an objective. I don't really think I'm an objective reviewer on this. I think I'm able to bring objectivity to a good bit of my reviews. Almost all of my reviews, I would say 99% of my reviews are positive. But I was so bought in on Stranger Things last year that I think there's a little, all my Stranger Things content. You just understand it's a low amount of objectivity. I'm really in the fanboy camp on this one, right? I am a Stranger Things super fan. Okay. Now, with that said, I really, really just absolutely loved this season. I thought it was fantastic. There are so many things I liked about it. One, Stranger Things it's a major it's a cultural touchstone at this point. I know there are people who had concerns with Lucas last year and how he was portrayed, the amount of screen time he got, who was put on screen for Lucas and who wasn't. And I thought that the Stranger Things writers, by the way, the Duffer Brothers did a fantastic job again. And I will say also, I think Stranger Things 2 is way better than Stranger Things. Season 2 is way better than Stranger Things Season 1. I was worried that they would be able to match the level of quality, and I really feel that they literally just sailed past the level of quality of Season 1, which is incredible because there were a ton of pressures surrounding this project, right? I think a lot of people wanted a lot of things to be in here, and actually, one thing I want to say is you could triple what I'm paying for Netflix, and you would not hear a peep out of me. I'm so happy with Netflix. Stranger Things is fantastic. Voltron is absolutely fantastic. I feel like there's a ton of awesome content on Ozark. I really enjoyed Ozark this year. And then, there's just a lot of great movies on there that I enjoy watching. A lot of great content. I watch a lot of their, I watch some of their anime, but Netflix continues to absolutely knock it out of the park with things like Stranger Things. And I really feel that Netflix stepped back and was like, hey, you guys made this thing. It was awesome. Why don't we just keep our mouths shut over here and just rake in the money? And I think that's what they did. I think Netflix was pretty hands-off with this season, and I think it shows. I think our culture overall, reviewers and viewers, we were not hands-off. I think there was a lot of demands on the Duffer Brothers, fair demands, which they delivered. Like, we all wanted a good show, but I think there were a lot of groups who wanted to see themselves more in the show, and I think they delivered on most of that, right? So Duffer Brothers had a huge wall to scale, and I think they really 100% accomplished it, right? So I thought Lucas, his arc where he beat Dustin for Max's hand, that was incredible. That and bittersweet and sad, and and you really, I didn't know who to root for, right? I think Lucas is a fantastic character. Dustin, I have to say, Dustin is absolutely my favorite of the four, of the party. Will and Mike and Dustin and Lucas, the original party. And so, to me, and I think I really like Dustin so much because I think in many ways I was like Dustin in high school and especially in junior high. A little different, but I see myself in that character a lot more than I do any of the other characters. But Luke, the fact that they did allow Lucas to beat out Dustin, and also the fact that we got to see Lucas's sister for an extended period and the fact that we got to see Lucas's mom and dad and his home, and the fact that Lucas had, lots to do throughout the series, and was, I thought he was a great character in season 1. He's a much more rich and robust character in season 2. We're really starting to get to see him fully, and I was just thrilled, absolutely thrilled with Lucas's arc. Dustin, he continued to just crush it in this season. He had so many cool aspects to his character, his relationship with D'Artagnan, and his relationship with his friendship, that, the growing friendship between Steve and Dustin, one of the best parts of the show. The way Steve was, explaining to him how you attract girls and make girls interested in you. I think Steve's advice was terribly wrong. But I actually really like the fact that, it's kind of rare for guys to talk about how to talk about the things that Dustin and Steve actually talked about. And so to see that put on film in the way it was really good. And I think it was very truthful to both characters. I think one of the things that was really, that I think one of the reasons why I love Stranger Things so much is I feel like the Duffer Brothers have a very strong understanding of who their characters are and what their characters stand for, and they're true to that. They never abandon the character for the sake of the story, and they're able to make the story work while being true to every single character in the story, right? And I think that was, so just that friendship that grew between Dustin and Steve, absolutely fantastic. By the way, just a few quibbles. Max's brother gives Steve a beatdown in the end, like just a brutal beatdown. And they showed Steve up and at him like an hour or two later. And I'm telling you, the type of trauma that beating would have put on him, I don't think he might have died, and I don't think he would have been up for days. Yeah, so a few other tiny, few things that I would quibble with, concerns I had with it. The death of Bob, I was very, very sad about that. That's a big topic that I would actually unlock. I thought Sean Astin, so good, so perfectly used. Just really fantastic. Mike and his missing 11 and their relation, and 11 not being able to tell Mike where she was, not being able to talk to him. It was just heartbreaking. There were so many times in this where, it just hit you right in the feels. It went right to your emotions. And, and I think entertainment can do that. I think we have to be incredibly careful about living our lives like that, living our lives based on emotion. From an entertainment perspective, it was really, really fantastic. And you really felt for everybody in this. Like the way this thing moved and the way it moved forward, it was really, really something. I was just so impressed with the job they did with this show. Will, him being a spy and being able to be aware of what was happening with the Shadow Monster, and the Shadow Monster also being able to see through Will, it was such a strong story aspect and made for such rich content and such unusual situations, and putting the characters in very difficult positions, both having to kill the Shadow Monster and at the same time save Will, right? Will's relationship with his brother Jonathan, there's just so many ramifications and juxtapositions and tangents that the relationships in this show go through. It's really incredible. They just accomplished so much in a limited amount of time. I really thought the length was excellent too. 9 episodes seemed really rich and full to me. You could have made it 18 episodes. I would have watched every single one of them and been happy. But I think they did a great job, of just moving that forward. So Noah did a great job as a spy. Dustin, we got to see, Dustin in there. Lucas, the continued, enriching of his character. and Mike. And actually, one of the things I thought was interesting, now that I think back on it, Mike really was stepped back a lot. Mike did not have a lot to do in this. And I'll tell you, I think that is fantastic. And I think the Duffer Brothers are geniuses on a lot of levels, right? And I think one of the reasons why Mike was stepped back, right, was that I think everybody came out of season 1 going, oh, Finn Wolfhard, he's the man, and he's going to be the next Tom Hanks. I was thinking that, and I think a lot of other people are thinking it too, right? So I think the Duffer Brothers were like, you know what, we don't need to do a single thing more for Finn Wolfhard. We don't need to make him prominent in this show because we have a ton of other incredibly talented actors, and we've already shown the world that Finn Wolfhard is incredibly a talented actor, and that's already been acknowledged by the world. But like Gaten Matarazzo needs to be in 50 movies, and Caleb McLaughlin needs to be in 50 movies, and Noah Schnapp, he needs to be in 50 movies, and we need to pull Finn Wolfhard back because we've already accomplished for him what we needed to accomplish, right? And I think that's, just those guys thinking at that level. I truly think they were thinking at that level. And that's another thing that I'm also very much hoping. I think season 2 of Stranger Things is going to go into a very distinct category of mega television. It's going to, it's going to spawn, it's going to affect the writing and the creation of a lot of different shows. And I think everybody in it is positioned to do incredibly great things, and spawn. I think 50 projects will be spawned out of Stranger Things season 2. And one thing I am hoping is I really do enjoy these kind of shows that have serious content but involve children, and so I hope that the community around this show recognizes the threat to the children and is the child actors and is taking steps to kind of put a halo of protection around them if that's possible. I think it's going to be very hard going forward. I know that's kind of a strange note for me to end this particular video on. I'm hoping that's the case, and I think I'm going to lift that particular prayer up because I just really got a lot out of this, and I was just stunned. I was stunned at how good Stranger Things Season 2 was, and I am absolutely amazed that the Duffer Brothers were able to pull this out and make Stranger Things Season 2 better than Stranger Things Season 1. Absolutely amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely love Season 2 of Stranger Things. Take care.